Man, what's going on, everybody? It's
Ashley, Nyla,
and Titus, and we are back with another video. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel, Ashley and Titus, and also Nyla. She joined us 3 months ago. I'm thinking about. I thought about changing the name actually of our channel to the Beard family, but since Miss Nyla's here, it was actually a Titus, Nyla, for a while there, but then you joined us. Miss Nyla. So thinking about changing the name to the Beard family as we grow this family in years to come. So, hi, Yaya. So today we are going to do video, the kind of video we haven't done in a while, just talking about life, one of those life type videos. This can help a lot of people coming up. So, because a lot of times, because like as parents, now, when we were coming up, we didn't really learn a lot about parenting, and in part of it could be my fault or my wife's fault, whatever the case may be, because we didn't ask. But still, I think it is good to.
Some things we shouldn't have to ask about.
Well, yeah, it's still good to get knowledge on parenting and different things like that. So it's depending on where it's from. Now our parents obviously taught us some things because that's just stuff you talk about. Stuff comes up when you talk to your parents or whatever. But it's not like you learn everything about it, which you're never going to learn everything about until you experience it. But coming up, I didn't do much research, or people didn't pull me to the side and explain this and that to me. But we are going to take this opportunity to explain a part of parenting, and we're going to do more videos like this. These videos are fun. We're going to take the time to tell you, maybe some young people watching this, or people who hasn't had children yet, or people that is thinking about how they're going to parent. We are going to tell you our experience so far with pumping. My wife pumps.
Not just that, but breastfeed.
Breastfeed, mainly pumps, but the breastfeeding as well.
It's hot.
So we're gonna talk about that today. So I'm going to explain. My wife is going to explain it too. How both each person in the marriage or in the relationship can contribute to breastfeeding and pumping, and how it affects each one. So I'll let my wife go first. Ladies go first. I'll let my wife go first and explain the breastfeeding portion and the pumping portion, how it affects her, the difficulties of it, and the rewards of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. You didn't give me time to think about it.
It's not really. See, and that's what I'm saying. I like going off the fly because it's coming from the heart. That's what I like. I think those videos. I think it's more beneficial when somebody can say something just on the spot, because it's something that they actually mean from their heart. So.
Okay, well, he told me about this video today,
Yeah, but I'm sure once you get going,
I didn't even know this was gonna be.
I'm sure once you get going, you'll say some really good stuff, because you always do.
First of all, it affects me because I have to plan around Nyla in my pump.
Yeah.
So I have to plan my days around my pump. Like if I go anywhere, I have to bring it with me. I have 2 pumps. My mom got me a handless pump, a Willow. Then I had a Motive Luna, which is cords. So either way, I'm stuck to a pump. So usually when I go somewhere, before I had the handless pump, I had to bring that and pump in the car, which is definitely not safe because I had to unbuckle. but now I can pump while being buckled. But yeah, I have to. So in the day I pump every 2 hours, and at night it's every 3 hours. So like I said, I just have to plan my day between her and the pump. Want me to say more?
Oh, what I do is like talk about like how difficult it is, and also the rewards of it.
It's very difficult because 3 big reasons I could think about right now is, one, if you don't eat enough food or drink enough water, you're gonna really feel it. So sometimes I don't eat enough.
Yeah.
And I don't, because when he's at work for, 12 hours a day, I don't always got time for myself. It's about her. So I don't always have time to sit and eat. Because if I'm not, like, attending to her, I'm attending to my pump. So I'll forget to eat, and it'll cause an upset stomach and headaches, and I'll feel nauseous and like shaky, because if you don't, it takes out the energy and the nutrients from your body that, to provide for the baby. So
Right.
I really mess myself up by not eating enough. And if you, don't drink enough water, of course, that's half the breast milk. So, it's got to take from your body somewhere. Also, that can affect your supply. So, like, there's times where I drink more water than what I usually do in one day. And I'm pumping, anywhere between 4 and 5 ounces every 2 hours, and like 5 and 6 ounces every 3 hours. On days I don't drink enough, I'm between 3.5 ounces every 2 hours and 3 and 4 ounces every 2 hours to 4 ounces every 3. So just like, I never get under 3 ounces though, so that's good. And she's eating 4 ounces, so I have to make sure I provide enough for me to, be able to feed for her. But luckily, if I'm not that one day because I didn't drink enough or eat enough, I have a stash, so that's helpful. But no, another thing is at the end of the day, you're drained, because your making breast milk takes up so much energy. So by the end of the, like a 11-hour shift, I'm with her while he's at work, I'm exhausted. And that really takes a toll on me, because I don't take naps. But since she's been here, I haven't really taken a nap. Because she's at the age where she's staying awake more. So
Right.
I just have to survive, like, drag myself to take care of her. And not only that, but I can't take care of myself because I'm taking care of her for like 10 or 11 hours. But and on top of that, I'm trying to find time to clean, do laundry, fold stuff, put stuff
Still
away,
gets it done though.
dishes, cook for
Like-
myself, clean the pumps every, after I get done pumping every 2 hours.
She's could be to be commended though, because she still be getting it all done. So that's amazing. Go
And
ahead
then
though.
don't
Sorry,
even get
I
me
had to
started
give you
on the
a.
nighttime pumps, because it is exhausting. Wake up every 3 hours. I attempt to. Sometimes I go 5 hours. But I'm, 13 weeks postpartum, so luckily my milk has regulated, which I can start dropping the nighttime pumps. But I'm not going to, because I don't want to risk losing supply. But luckily I'm able to go more hours without pumping. So that is a plus, but it's just exhausting waking up pumping for 30 minutes every 3 hours, because
That's what I was waiting on you to hit on, was the nighttime ones.
Yeah,
I was like, she
hate
gonna
and
say
I
something
dread
about the
the nighttime
nighttime?
ones.
Yeah.
The nighttime ones seem to be the longest. Like, it's just like, in the day, 2 hours goes by like this. Like, I got a shower and made myself some food, and by the time I did that, it was already 2 hours in time for me to pump again. So we literally have to plan, like, if we go to the store, go in between that 2-period window.
2
And
hour,
if not-
2 hour period. Yeah.
If not, bring my pumps, and I hate pumping in the car. But like, so yeah, the main thing is planning around the pump, and then, you know, because by the time I get 2 things done, it's time to pump again. And it's hard.
Well, she stated the difficulties for her. It's a very challenging thing, and I can see it. And my wife is to be commended, and to any woman, any mother who does pumping or breastfeeding, you are to be commended. It is a great undertaking. So yes.
I have one more.
What was that?
Okay, so before, when I was breastfeeding, like before she was here, I've always wanted to breastfeed. Something we talked about, you know, because I feel like when you're, you know, a partner, you should like share like what feeds you want to do, like talk about formula if you want to do formula, if you both agree, like both agree on something. I mean, of course, like, and like all honestly, it's mainly the mom's idea because she provides the breast milk, but it's still something you need to talk about to your spouse or whoever is involved. But so we had both decided I wanted to breastfeed because it's something, you know, I've always wanted to do. And I was like, oh, you know, breastfeed, you know, making breast milk's cheaper than formula, but it's honestly more expensive. Because
it can be.
It is for me in my scenario.
Yeah. But what I was saying, in generally speaking, it can be, but for us, it is more.
Because she eats 4 ounces, and at night I pump more than 4 ounces, so I have to bag them separate because I bag by how much she eats, and I'm using 2 bags per pump every night. So I'm going through bags like this. So that adds up. And on top of that, I drink a lot of coconut water and liquid IV to help stay hydrated. And that adds up. That gets pretty expensive. You know, and then you have to buy more food because you're always hungry when you breastfeed. So I'm always eating, you know, trying to.
Hidden cost up in there, yeah.
So that adds up. So it's just the pros and cons. Like, yeah, it's better for the baby, but it is in my scenario, because you know I wasn't blessed with a big supply like others. It gets expensive. So I don't like when people say it's cheaper because it's not in my scenario.
Yeah, not for everyone. Yeah, so
I mean,
definitely that's a big thing for sure.
It's not that I don't like when people say it. I'm just like, you know, I wish it was cheaper, but it's better for her, and I put myself last to, you know, make sure she's healthy. She hasn't got sick yet, and I truly think it's because of the breast milk, but, you know. Okay, now I'm done.
Yeah, so putting out some great points there in terms of how difficult it is. And we'll talk about the rewards after I get done. I'll be very brief. I'm going to talk about it from a man's perspective. You know, because some people, from a father's perspective, right? Because some people will say, oh, you know, the mother, you know, they you know, go through a lot with their breastfeeding and all of that. And, of course, they do go through the most because they're the ones providing the breast milk. They're the ones pumping. But it's very, it's almost like a basketball almost. So she's shooting the ball per se, but the mother's shooting the ball, right, making it in the basket, but the husband is giving the assist, right? As a father, I provide, and you should provide as a father, assistance for your wife or, you know, significant other that is providing breast milk or pumping. What I mean by that is, my wife has to sit a certain way when she pumps, and her back gets it hurts, and she needs her back rubbed. So I'll rub her back while she's pumping. At night, I'll wash the pumps, right? So she doesn't have to do that because she's already pumping the milk. So at night, I'll wash the pumps. On my days off, that's my day to wash the pumps because when I'm at work 5 days a week, she washes the pumps all day long. And then when I get home from work, I'll wash the pumps. That's how we operate. So it is, there's things that you can do to help your wife out or to help your significant other out. And I try my best, you know, to be the best husband I can be to do those things. And You may think, oh, I gotta work tomorrow, or I gotta get up early, or I gotta, and she wants me to wash these pumps or whatever in the middle of the night, whatever. And that attitude's not a good attitude to have. And I had to realize that, and I have to work to have a good attitude to be able to get up, wash her pumps, to be able to get up in the middle of the night for 30 minutes and maybe help rub her shoulders, or just stay up with her to keep her company, talk to her so the time can go by faster, right? So there's things that you can do as a father, and it still is difficult as a father. A lot of times when it comes to raising children in the early stages, a lot of times the emphasis is put on the mother, because of course it should be, because they're going through the most. But the pregnancy and all that, breastfeeding, if you choose to breastfeed and all that, the mother goes through it the most. But also don't forget about the fathers as well. The fathers is going through things too. Having to get up in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night for 30 minutes, and then having to wake up at 6, 7 o'clock a.m. and then go forward to get ready for work and work an 8, 9, 10-hour shift, right? And so for some females, they do that too. So it's difficult, just being a parent in general. But for our scenario, I work right now, my wife doesn't. So getting up in the middle of the night for 30 minutes and coming downstairs, washing up, I gotta wash these pumps. And then Nyla gets hungry as soon as I'm done washing the pumps, and then now we're up for an hour. Now we're up from 45 minutes to an hour because now Nyla's hungry, So, but you have to keep your attitude right. And you have to realize that mothers or fathers are just as important as mothers, and they should be checked on as well. And they should, and you should make sure that you assist your significant other when they're breastfeeding or pumping, because there's a lot that you can do to make their job a whole lot easier. So,
can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
In the middle of the night, he also does most of the feeds, because she always gets hungry when I'm about to, when I get done pumping, I'm about to lay down. 30 minutes went by, I can go back to bed. And she starts crying. So, before we established, routine, we were all over the place. I would help wash them, but I was only pumping 15 minutes, and then I was like, 15 minutes isn't long enough. I need to pump longer. So I did 30 minutes to increase my supply. But before we had a routine, it was crazy. I would wash them and then pump, and he'd be asleep. And then let's say he's still asleep, I don't want to wake him up, so I'd feed her, because she would wake up every about 2 hours, because she was breastfed. So we all of a sudden just started coming up with the routine, and I talked to him. I was like, I feel like it's fair, since I pump and I have to be up 30 minutes, that you get your time by being up, by washing the pumps, so I could sleep in just 2 more minutes extra, So we also agreed that since I get done pumping, he could have his 30 minutes by feeding Nyla, so it's fair. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but she doesn't even really eat. She eats usually around 5, and that's when he wakes up She usually wakes up around 5:30 or 6, and he wakes up at 6 anyway. So. Yeah. But it's not like I'm just laying in bed, because usually he has to turn on the light, so that wakes me up. So I'm still up, but I get a break too. So
it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I definitely think that you should make a routine, because I'm telling you, it made our life so much easier.
Yep. So
much easier.
Yeah.
And just because he works, doesn't give, and he doesn't use this, I'm just saying in general, doesn't give him an excuse not to help, Here, he helps a lot, but what I'm saying in general, because, it's both y'all's baby, It shouldn't just be on the mom or just on the dad.
So,
did I explain that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the rewards of it, and then we're going to end the video, kind of a long video, but there's a lot of substance in here. So, we definitely wanted to explain this, because, growing up, people watching this that's growing up want to have kids one day, you want to know everything and get prepared. Now I'm going to talk about the rewards of it. The most obvious reward my wife mentioned, but the reward that's the most obvious is that Nyla's healthy. Because for the ones that do formula feeding, it is a little bit less difficult and a little bit more quicker
Reminder, we're not bashing
Now,
anyone who formula.
no, we're
We've
just
actually
telling
done
the
formula
truth,
for her when she was in the hospital. And I used to actually give her formula a lot before I decided to just exclusively pump. So she used to get formula, so we're not bashing anyone. A fed baby is a happy baby. So just keep in mind that we're not here to bash anyone. We're just giving advice to people who do want to consider or choose to breastfeed.
Yeah, so I mean, but we're just going off of the facts that, you know, babies are, you know, proven that, you know, they're more healthy when they're breastfed, you know. And also it's probably a little bit more time consuming and maybe a little bit more difficulties that come with breastfeeding and pumping. But, you know, like I said, like she said, your baby just needs to be fed in general. You know, that's the main thing. But, you know, that's the reward, though, is what I'm trying to say. The reward is she's a very healthy baby. Hasn't got real sick or even like, really not even like, you know, sick
Just had a
mildly.
cough.
Like, yeah, just maybe a cough or, you know, cold or something like that. And that's it. So we're very thankful, and we definitely believe that that's in a result of breastfeeding. So, yeah, another reward that I can think of is it allows my wife and I to grow a closer bond when we're up and having to go through that, having to have that teamwork where I give her the assist and she shoots the ball. It builds a greater bond in the marriage. So, any rewards that you could think of?
Oh yeah. My reward is that I've done it for 3 months nonstop.
Yeah.
She's been breastfed since in the hospital. And I mean, let's be real, it's hard. A lot of people don't stick with it. And I'm proud that I made it to 12 weeks.
Right.
So, in the long run, I'm going to think, wow, I really did that. I did not give up. I wanted to give up. I've thought about giving up because I can't do much. I can't, you know, get a tattoo like I want to. I don't drink, but you can't go out and drink without having to waste milk. That doesn't affect me because I don't drink. But you can't do a lot of stuff, you know. So you're basically throwing away, I mean, your old life to support a baby. And that's parenthood. Like, I'm not complaining, but like, you know, I can't go out with friends without having to bring a pump with me and pump at a restaurant or in the car or in the bathroom, like, yeah. But the reward is that I've managed to do it for this long and I want to continue to at least a year, if not the 6 months.
And also, before we end this video, one of the greatest rewards for the both of us is not having to worry about if milk is provided, because the number of bags that's sitting in that freezer right now is a great reward. My wife always talks about it. So how many is it?
Formula
6?
shortage. I choose
6 bags. I mean,
7.
6.
I'm starting my 7.
Yeah, it's not like the actual bags of breast milk. It's bags that's filled with like
the big freezer bags.
Yeah, freezer bags of breast milk. It's like
7.
10 in each one or something like that. So
like 12, I think.
yeah, like 10 or 12 bags of breast milk in each freezer bag, and there's like 7 of them. So that's a great reward, because at one point my wife was struggling to even provide enough to even feed Nyla at that moment.
And that's why we were preferring formula, because she was eating like 2 ounces and I was only getting like 1 to 1.5, and then that's why I started increasing my pumps and time, and then now I make just enough to feed her. Like, the highest I've ever gotten was like 12 ounces, and that's because I missed like 2 pumps. But on a good day, regular pump, I get 5 ounces. So that's just enough to feed her. Which, I mean, it's okay. At least she's fed, you know. I'm doing way better than when I was. So.
Yeah, so your video's kind of lengthy, but there was so much in it, man. So we had to.
One more. The disadvantage is when I work at the restaurant, I have to leave my tables to pump for 30 minutes, which is losing money.
Yeah, so.
That's all.
There's all kind of there's all kind of things that go along with this. So we could talk for even longer, but we don't want to keep this too long. But we just want to talk about the difficulties and the rewards of pumping and breastfeeding for the mother and father. So we hope you learned something from this video. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment any thoughts you have, subscribe, and please turn on post notifications. And we will we'll see you in the next one.
Say bye.